So should I start a YouTube channel? Should I focus on a podcast? Or should I focus on growing my social media and figure out how to navigate that jungle? If that's something you've been thinking about for your coaching business, then let's sort that out really quickly.
That is a very common question. Do I do short form content? Do I do long form content? What kind of content do I need to do?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, we're going to break down to what is the difference of the two. Let's just clear it out. Short form content, something I can read very fast, or a video, reel, something I can watch in 90 seconds or less than that. Long form is everything above that, but I would say long form is like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. That's long form content. That is where you speak more. It takes the viewers focus for a longer time. It demands them to focus for a longer time to watch that. So when should I do what? When should I use what?
So the first thing that is important to understand is the reason for doing them.
Yeah.
So we are running a coaching business. That's what we have in common on this podcast. Really, really cool. Let's start with what does it look like running a coaching business. We have something that we call a funnel. People are coming into our world. They're being aware of our existence.
Yeah.
That is what we call top of funnel. So top of funnel means that they are introduced to our existence.
Yeah.
That we exist.
Coming in. Yeah.
Yeah, they're coming into our world.
Start following, start liking, start like seeing, getting to our list, whatever. Top of funnel, getting into our world.
Yeah, and if we specify it and take it, if we cross-examine two different leads, they can move differently fast from top of funnel to middle of funnel. But when we're looking at it from an engineering standpoint or from a structural standpoint, us in a business, we treat them differently depending on what level they're at.
Yeah.
And we do not condition that you need to move faster or take longer to get through the funnel, but we create it in a way so that they can actually do it in their own pace. Top of funnel, we find all the short form content. We find all the reels. We find all the easy nuggets to consume. We do all the hand raised posts. We do all of the things.
So it's the content that speaks to people who doesn't know who you are.
Yeah.
It's the people who are cold. So what you need to speak about is literally, you need to be very clear of speaking messages that speaks directly to the pain point, whatever the frustration, whatever they're working with, or exactly into what they want to have. So it's the content that gets their attention.
Yeah.
And get them curious about, well, you're speaking to me, I want to know more.
And introduces cool person according to them.
Yeah.
Because you need to do it can kind of show who you are and kind of being someone that they're interested in.
Yeah.
So you can have the most interesting topic, but if you're sitting like this and you're saying, are you a coach? That's not going to happen. So
absolutely, it would also be a little bit different from the rest of the market. So
and how do we do that? We figure out, what do I stand for? What do I stand against? Another episode on branding.
Go back and watch.
Yeah, go back and watch it. Short form content, top of funnel. That's where we create and are very clear within our content about what we do and what we help people do in order to attract people, to engage with people, for them to reach out to us either through a comment or a like or starting a chat or sending us an email, whatever.
Yeah.
Middle funnel. That's where we find long form content.
Mixed with short form.
Mixed with short form, absolutely. But short form, it already lives. So they're already conditioned to the short form, which means that they're going to keep watching it. They're still going to consume our social media. They're still going to read our emails and stuff like that. Now, emails could be long form. It could be short form, depending on how we create it. Let's not make it too complex. Yeah. Short form lives in top of funnel. Long form lives in middle of funnel. What does middle of funnel look like? What does long form look like? Well, it could be this podcast is long form content. Yeah. So a lot of the people that we have here are watching all the episodes or every episodes that are being released or almost every episode. And what is the reason for that? Here is the law and the principle. Bingers are buyers, which means that the more time they spend on our brand, the more accustomed they are to who we are as people, what we think and what we prioritize.
Yeah, what we stand for and how we help and who we are as people. Yeah.
And if people spend X amount of time on our brand, then they are more likely to buy our services. Yeah. And that's the bottom line of it. Yeah. Will everyone buy? No, it's not the meaning of it. No. The right people will buy. Yeah. That's the meaning of it. Long form content could be created in a podcast very common long form format today. Yeah. You could create a YouTube channel where you produce actual trainings and stuff. You could have a Facebook group where you create trainings for that Facebook group that you upload weekly.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a show style content.
Yeah.
It could also be that you're creating a library where you have resources to send to people that reacts to your short form, and then they express that I have, like, so what am I stuck with? I'm stuck with this specific thing. Then you could be like, really cool, I have a training.
Send them a long form.
I have a training about that. Would you like me to send it to you to help you to take a couple of steps in overcoming that? And they're like, yes, please. Send it.
If we go back to the principle, because I think that's really interesting. People who don't know who you are don't care about you.
No.
And they care about themselves and what they need to trust that this is worth my time.
Yeah.
Which means that if, let's say I'm doing only long form content, the cold people will never get there because they come in and it's a 30-minute video. I don't have time to do that. It's just too time consuming and they don't understand the value of it. Short form, top of funnel is about attracting the people that is interested in what you do. The long form has the job of more aligning them with who you are and how you help. If you're only doing long form content, you'll have a lot of people never getting to that place because they didn't get hooked first and they don't go further into your funnel. And if you're only doing short form content, you'd be attracting a lot of people, but they might never be moving on because you're not building up that
enough context.
Enough context and handle what you need to handle.
So in the beginning, up to 20,000 euros, you could navigate that anyway because you could take care of your following with chats and invite them to events. But it's still they still need to hang out with you. Yeah. They still need the results in advance kind of marketing thing to overcome and bridge the trust factor.
So doing less than 10K, 15K, I would say you don't need long form. You don't. You can put in some of the other, like do an event once in a while, but you don't need to do weekly because if you need to do weekly, I would rather have you spending the time. If you're doing less than 10K, I would rather have you spend time to have more conversations with people.
Yeah, exactly my point. But I would be a little bit more conservative, north of 20K, maybe even 30K before starting like a weekly cadence of producing something. I was doing almost 100,000 euros a month before I started doing any serious long form.
I started way different, way earlier because I started doing long form and I had a Facebook group. And in my Facebook group, I made a training once a week. And I did that when I was doing like 12, 15.
Yeah, and that's a simple way of doing long form content, short trainings, 10-minute trainings. And that's fair enough. Yes, it is considered long form content, but because the context in this conversation, don't start a podcast. Don't do like a show style. Don't invest in a videographer that comes to your house and records really fancy videos unless you have a business that it makes perfect sense. Yeah. Because you could take care of the engagement and the people who are interested in a chat or on a call or in an event. Yeah. And it does really the same thing, but the rule still stands. They need to spend X amount of minutes on your brand before they feel like, this is perfect. This is what I'm going to move forward with. So we do agree. There are easy ways to do long form. You could have a library on your own Google Drive where you have pre-recorded a bunch of 10-minute trainings that isn't public to anyone. But when you come across someone who has a problem, you give a solution.
Or you have it in a YouTube channel. And you
and you send them to the YouTube channel.
Whenever you want.
But you're not investing.
Or you have a Facebook. If you use Facebook, you have a Facebook group where you put it.
Yeah, above 30K, that's when you start to invest in long form content. Below 30K, that's when you can do long form content. Yeah. Between 10 and 30K, that's when you can start doing like those video trainings to have semi-automated relationship building phase in your marketing. And to just wrap it up really, really quickly, the last part of the funnel, obviously bottom of funnel. So why do we have top of funnel, short form, middle funnel, long form? It's because we want to make sure that we are building up to the bottom of funnel, which is just the converting. The reason for them to make the decision to buy your program. Yeah. And that is super important just to tie it all together. Have fun doing your short form content. Have fun doing your long form content.
I will add a training down below here for you to go in and see what does it actually take. What should I be doing at the level I'm at right now in my business? The Millionaire Multiplier Method. So what should I be focusing on where I'm at right now? Take a look at that. Please do subscribe.
Like and subscribe
if you think this is helpful in your business. If you have any questions, comment down below. We like to get the questions so we can actually do a podcast episode like this about the questions you have. Until then, see you next Wednesday.
Bye, guys.